Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Black CEO Morning Show. I'm Belton Shaw, and we are here for you today and excited to be here with each and every one of you. And I am so lucky that I get the opportunity to welcome you and introduce some of the most powerful hosts that you will ever be introduced to. One is the infamous Candace Woodruff. What's up, Candace?
Good morning. Good morning.
And we were just talking the international woman extraordinaire, Miss Taria Hyde. Hey, Miss Money.
Great morning, Black CEOs. Good morning, Velton and Candace.
Good morning.
Oh man, it's good to see y'all. It's so good to see y'all. I tell you, I've been having a powerful, powerful week and a powerful, powerful morning. So hey, let's get started. It's amazing that as we go through life, things change. We get ups and downs, and we don't know how to deal with it. And our guest today is going to help us with that. But before we get into that, what's going on, girls, that you have been dealing with that you need to try to get around? And number one, but number two, how do you do it so the audience has a couple of ideas of some of the things that you do? With me, right now, as all of everybody knows, maybe everybody on the show doesn't know, I'm writing another book. Yeah, I love to write, like
Wow.
just like I love to talk. But
Well,
hey,
congratulations.
thank you. Writing a book is not that easy. People think you sit down sometimes, and it depends on the kind of book you're writing. But the books I write, I have to do research, and sometimes I get this
Mm.
stick in my craw that says, I'm not feeling that today. I want to go out and do something else. And it prolongs the process. I guess they call it procrastination, but I'm not going to use that word because that's a bad word in my world. But anyway, you know, when you get stuck, how do you get unstuck? What do you do to get unstuck? Sometimes I go out and play golf or I go out and do something different just to cut the monotony.
Well, Velton, the point that you're making is a really great point because sometimes I think as entrepreneurs, we have it in our mind that we have to just always be on all the time. So it's a go, 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 And there's a
Mm-hmm.
saying that I'm exploring a whole lot lately, and it's called slowing down to speed up. So sometimes you just
Mm-hmm.
have to kind of step back, and when you step back and you do, like you said, do something different, or you allow your creative juices to flow, give yourself that moment and that space, to be creative and find your creativity. When you come back to your project, whatever that project is, it's a whole lot easier. So that's, why rest is so important. So people talk about it. Entrepreneurs, light is always on, we're
Right.
always on the grind, but sometimes you just gotta slow down. Okay, so you can,
Mm-hmm.
recapture that creativity and pick back up your momentum.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very valid point, Taria, because I was talking to Mr. Trevor Otts, founder of BlackCEO, and he gave me a piece of advice. He said, Candace, sometimes you have to rest, and it's okay for you
Mhm.
to rest. Whenever you do that, he said, God created the whole earth, right? He did it in 7 days, but he said on the seventh day he rested. So he did it in six, and then on the seventh day he rested. So don't get so caught up into thinking that you have to grind all the time, because you really, for your creative juices to be at their maximum potential, you have to
Yeah.
rest and give your body and your mind that chance to rejuvenate. So I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Is
You
it
know,
is it
it's,
isn't it funny? Oh, I was just about to say, isn't it funny that we have these principles, we have these things that they're all
Mm-hmm.
outlined for us, right? And as
Right.
mm-hmm.
man, we just think that we could do our own thing and we know best. But that's why it's there,
Mm-hmm.
having the ability
Well,
to rest. So I love it.
it's
Absolutely.
it's interesting because I kid Shay and Trevor all the time because
Mm-hmm.
I call them the resident vampires. Now, for him to say rest is an oxymoron
You hear
because
me?
them two are up 24/7. Shay has a TV show 11 that starts 11 o'clock at night, and
Mm-hmm.
they're the
Yeah.
guys talking about rest. But here's the question that I have: what do you do to rest? What is your go-to thing that allows
Ultimate.
you to recharge your battery? What do you do?
Well,
that's a good question.
Belton, I'm going to share something. As you guys know, I'm here in the Virgin Islands, right? And this is part of what I do to recharge. So I think I kind of figured out how important it is for me to be here because it's a whole different type of energy. It's a whole different way of working. Even how I start my day, go through the day is different from when I'm on the mainland. And so I realized that the periods that I'm here, it is kind of a resting period for me and the opportunity for me to recharge once again, for me to be, in a space where I could be creative, I could draw from, a different type of inspiration around me. So that's one of the ways, in addition to having weekly rest. I do take a day
Mhm.
for rest now, but just being able to, step away and be in a space like this has been amazing
Hmm.
for me and my business.
That's good. Taria, all of us don't have the privilege of having family in the island, so I don't know if I could use that,
Well, you have
I told,
family now.
hey
I'm
Candy,
here. You
she's
have
an
right,
family
right.
now. See, there
international
you
woman.
go.
She's an international woman. Traveling the globe.
Right. Well, to answer your question, Milton, I would say personally, I'm a spa girl, so I like massages and stuff like that. But
Ah,
aside from
okay.
that, I often get into I get into a movie. So I'll go get on my TV or I'll go to the movies and things like that, and I'll actually get caught up into someone else's story other than
Mm,
doing it myself. So it's always a good time. Always a good time. And that kind of helps
fan.
me not to think about what I have going on, but to get into their story and what they're doing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Hmm.
It's interesting what we think. What I want to know is, audience, go into the feed. Tell us what you
Hmm.
think. Tell us how you recharge your battery. Tell us
Right.
what you utilize to unwind and
Mhm.
get back on track or get back centered, because everybody has the same issue. Everybody has the same problems or similar problems. There are
Hmm.
no new things for everybody to have. So go into the feed, give us your feedback, give us your opinion of what you do and what others
Absolutely.
might be able to do the same thing. So here's the second part of that. So we all do something different to try to recharge our battery. And I'm glad we're having this conversation because it leads into our speaker today. I'm not going to reveal who she is yet, but this is just warming y'all up because y'all going to get it later. Remember when you were out in the street and you were bad and your mama said, wait till you get home, you going to get it. Well, y'all going to get it later.
Those are the worst kind of whoopings. You hear me? When you have to wait for it for later.
The ones you got to wait
Mm,
on.
Yeah, it's like that's
that
all you
one.
think about.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
that
my
one.
parents
You
used to do
just
that
wait
to
till your,
torture
mine was
me.
always, you just wait till your father gets home. And I was like, oh,
No, my
Lord. I
mama
was
took
like,
care of things. You hear me?
Mm-mm. No, that was my
I
mom.
hope he
My
get a
my
flat
my
tire
mom
on the
would
way
do
home before I be asleep. Go ahead,
my
Tree.
mom would do that. She would call my dad.
Mm-mm. No,
Call
she
my
took
dad
care
and
of
say,
it.
"Wait until your dad get home."
It was
Well,
more of
see,
the "I'll tell your daddy when he gets home," but it was already happening.
my family was like yours, Candace, because the wait till your daddy gets home was for the second whooping. My mom already
Hmm.
put something on you right then and there, or she said, "You just wait till you get home. I've had enough."
Absolutely. And
So my question, go ahead,
you
go
know what,
ahead, Tree.
Belton? It's funny because you bring up these whoopings. You can't be bringing up these old backflashes. Okay, those are backflashes. We don't.
We try to push them out of our memory, but hey, you know what?
Right.
But
Absolutely.
the thing is, I'm at my sister's house and I have my two nephews. They're 3 and 6, and when I see them, sometimes I just look at them and say, "Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're gonna. Oh no, he did it.
You're
Oh
gonna get
Lord."
it.
I'm going in another room. I'm going in
You're
another
trying to
room.
save them.
This is about to be a problem in here. And when their mama comes around, I was like, okay, I tried to tell you, I tried to warn you, but it's too late now.
That's
So
funny. You know what? They have to make sure they hashtag Black CEO Morning Show whenever they tell us what their routine is. That's going to be
there
great.
you
So make
go.
sure you hashtag the Black CEO Morning Show so we can see your posts because we want to hear from you all. And Belton, you said you had another question. What were you about to say?
Well, the question started out as, how do you recharge your battery? and we talked about different things that we do to recharge our battery, but recharging the battery brings back the energy. The other question is, how do you then refocus on
Mm,
the issues at hand?
that's good.
That's a good one. So, refocusing, and I'll share my tool for refocusing, Velton. I found that having a plan and just having a written plan and writing your plan in such a way where you could see it. So, this year has been the year of, oh my gosh, putting my plan everywhere. So, I have a journal, I keep it in my journal. I have an app on my computer and my phone that I use, and I keep the plan in front of me. So I'm able to keep my focus by just being able to refer, to what the things that I'm supposed to be focusing on. And I have it built into my daily schedule. So that's another thing that I found, this year specifically, is being able to be more productive. So I found a
Hmm.
lot of times I've just been being busy, right? So
Hmm.
it's being
Hmm.
productive. And you know what they say, if it's not on your schedule, it doesn't happen. So
Right.
that's how I
Exactly.
keep my focus. I just keep it in front of me, the things that I have to do on a consistent basis.
That's good.
Wow.
I will say, Milton, personally, before I move forward. So you're saying, okay, we took a break. So how do we refocus? I would basically review or reflect on what I've done well or not so well the previous week, so that I don't continue those same activities. Let's say if it's something I've done well, which was time blocking and making sure that I use my calendar. Well, that's something I've done well. I'll continue to do that. But maybe I didn't spend enough time with my family this week, so I'll
Hmm.
make sure to put that on the list for the following week, so I, I don't keep messing up on the same areas, right? It's kind of
Hmm.
like juggling, right? So just making
Oh
sure that
yeah.
I'm able to reflect and then
That's
refocus
good.
before I continue. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's
Yeah.
amazing because we all have different ways that we do it, but you both touched
Hmm.
on something that takes me to what I've developed. The thing is, and we go back to Trevor and Shay. Trevor
Hmm.
recommended a book to me about a year ago called The 12-Week Year.
Mm-hmm.
And that has
One
been
of
a
my
book that has
favorites.
really changed the way I look at things. Now, I have written a book on strategic planning and how to write a strategic plan, but when I looked at the 12-week year, it gave me a different insight to the world and a different insight to the year because it talks about taking that energy and focus that everybody exudes in the last quarter and doing it every
Yeah.
12 weeks so that you are taking your energy level and your performance to new heights and a new level, but it gives you the opportunity to take a small break every 12 weeks and to
Yeah.
rejuvenate yourself, but it also gives you the tool to refocus every 12 weeks. And when you're like me, because my focus is suspect sometimes because I get off track or off focus just a little bit. And being able to pull it back on a frequent basis and re-energize, recharge the battery. And yes, I recharge the battery by playing golf or something like that.
That's
And
good.
then getting back down into it and digging in deep. Now, here's the next question I have. What do you, as the audience, do to recharge your battery first? But secondly, how do you regain your focus? What are the things that you do? Because we're going to go through with, and I keep saying it, with our speaker, who's our teacher, and she's going to give us 5 steps. But I want to know what you do in this case to just find your ideas. And if you put it in the feed now, when she comes, we can talk to her and get some expert advice on this. Yeah,
Absolutely.
you're talking to me. I'm a novice, but we got an expert coming.
Good.
So y'all
Good.
get ready. Y'all put that in the feed so we can talk to the expert. Because Candace, I'm going to ask you to introduce our speaker in a couple of seconds, but we're going to move along with the show and we're going to get into our segments. And then Candace is going to introduce our speaker. And y'all better, I'm telling you now so you can get your paper and your pencil ready. So there's no excuses when she starts. So now we're going to move ahead with the show, as I said, and we're going to ask Taria Hodge, T Money from the island, to do our book club minute.
Hi, this is Taria Hodge, your Startup Accelerator, helping you to serve, share, and shine online. And I am bringing you the Black CEO Book Club Minute. And we are still reading from the book, Millionaire Success Habits, The Gateway to Wealth and Prosperity by Dean Graziosi. Now, I love that Dean also talks about mastering the art of attraction and persuasion. Attraction and persuasions are just other ways of saying marketing and selling. If you don't think you want to attract, which is market others to you, or persuade, which is selling others on the value you offer, then perhaps you should re-examine your passion and improve your product or your service. So here's the thing. If you know that your product or service is amazing, then you should feel obligated to sell it like crazy. So here are some of the things that Dean shares with us inside of the book. He says, one of the things that we need to truly consider is to make people feel you understand them by listening to their pains, their fears, and their beliefs. Try to help people understand what is it that they really want. If you can help people, then you have to do everything in your power to sell them the solution that they are looking for. Be authentic. Also be transparent. Learn to tell stories in order to better connect with people. And most of all, be passionate, which helps you find your confidence. Know that, and also here's the key thing, know that when the persuading time is over and when it's your time to be quiet. Now, once you've persuaded them, Dean shares with us, you also have to let people know how you care about them and you care about how they feel. So the key point to remember is always strive for relationships, not transactions. Learn what makes your people tick. Build reciprocity by making the first generous move, showing them that you are part of their solution and not their problem. In today's world of the internet, you can literally track where your clients are clicking and where they are hanging out, so you don't need to make any assumption. You could also send surveys to your customers about what they want and what they need, therefore taking all the guesswork out of the process. Do whatever it takes to get to know your people. And that's today's Black CEO Book Club reading. Once again, we're reading from the book Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi.
All right. Woo, man, that was an incredible book club, man. And I hope y'all really wrote that down. And if you haven't already started reading this book, you need to go ahead and grab the book and get with it because, hey, knowledge is the new currency. So if you're not reading and expanding your knowledge, you're leaving some money on the table. So moving right along with the show, we're going to go to our revenue minute so we can learn how not to leave that change on the table with our co-host, Taria Avant.
Hey,
Taria
what's going
Vision
on?
Avant.
Black CEOs. This is Taria Vision About with your revenue minute, and we're going to show you guys how to do what? Hashtag get the bag. And on today, I want to talk to you guys about affiliate marketing. Okay. Now, I want you to think about this. With you being a CEO, an entrepreneur, what are some of the things that you use on a monthly basis to grow your business? Do you use a CRM tool? You know, anything that allows you to be able to collect emails and names and then send out messages to them? Or do you use some kind of other tool like a funnels tool where you're able to create like a website page where people can go submit their information? Do you use GoDaddy? Do you use, whatever, Stripe? Do you use other accounts out there or services to grow your business? Well, guys, I want you to think about it like this. Many of those products or services that you actually buy or pay for on a monthly basis, they actually have affiliate accounts with them, okay? What that means is that if you refer their product or service, they will pay you a percentage of every sale that you recommend. Also, another great thing, hopefully, guys, as CEOs, you also have invested in a coach. I believe that every single person that wants to go to another level in their life, whether it's in business and relationships, finance, etc., you should have a coach in that space, whether it's a mentor that that helps you in like all the places, or a coach that's directly in that particular space that you're looking to grow in? Well, even in that situation, you should ask your coach, hey coach, if I refer you business, can I get an affiliate commission? 9 times out of 10, many of your coaches are also going to offer that. And so I don't want you to really change anything that you're doing, but guys, you have so many income opportunities right there in front of you. Everything that you're using right now, even if it's a product, you might buy a product on a monthly basis, maybe use a certain shampoo or whatever it may be. Reach out to those companies and find out, do you guys provide an affiliate program? And if they do, guys, you can actually promote that product or service and receive a commission on a monthly basis. It's all about making multiple streams of income, darling, and getting to the bag. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Revenue Minute, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Deuces.
Woo! Wow, another powerful segment. I hope y'all are taking notes on this stuff, because this is information for the future of your business. Now, you know what? We've got some visionaries like Taria here, but even though she's not here, I'm going to start with Taria Hodge and ask Taria T Money Hodge, what's your thought of the day? What you thinking about over there?
Well, I'm so glad that you asked, Belton, and I'm happy to share my thought of the day. And my thought of the day is quite simple: face it and fix it. So ask yourself, what is it that you are avoiding? So if you don't face it, you really can't fix it. So avoiding difficult conversations or the difficult truth about how we're showing up in the world is a short-term strategy for not feeling good about yourself. Avoidance is also a long-term strategy for suffering. So the more you avoid, the less momentum you actually have, the less progress you will make, and the less fulfillment and happiness you get. So my thought of the day today is face it and fix it. Back over to you, Belton.
All right, face it and fix it. I love it. I
Come
love it.
on, face
You
it
know,
and fix it.
I'm telling you, I love it. That was powerful. Now, but Candace, tell us now. You got a hard act to follow, and my thought of the day. I'm thinking of it. But what's your thought of the day today? That's an incredible thought.
Man, she had me feeling some kind of way, but whenever you surround yourself with greatness, you have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Now, that's not my
There you
thought of
go.
the day, but it's a side note, right? So, hey, Black CEOs, my thought of the day today is don't let your pennies count your dollars. And some people look at me funny when I say it. Well, I talked to a client and they were like, well, Candace, I don't want to spend, the $1,200 or whatever it was. And I laughed. I said, so you would rather lose out on $10,000 versus investing $1,200 in your business? What? Yes.
Mm.
So don't let your pennies count your dollars by thinking that instead of investing in yourself that you're winning, because most times you're not winning when you do things like that. So that's my thought of the day. Oh my goodness, Belton. That's my thought of the day, Belton. I almost called you Robert. That was funny. But what I will say is that don't let your pennies count your dollars. That's what it was. That's it.
All right. I just want you to know, all us light skinned people don't look alike.
This
I
is
want that for
true.
the record.
That's
All
true.
us light skinned
It's
people do not
true.
look alike. Hey, that's from Team Light Skin to you. All of us don't
Yeah,
look alike.
right.
But hey, since we're doing thought of the day, I'm gonna give y'all my thought of the day, because one of the things about this show is everybody seems to be in sync no matter what we do. And here's my thought of the day: everything you pick, some of it may need to be fixed. Everything you pick, something may need to be fixed. Now think about it like this: the last time that you went into the car dealership and you walked through the lot and you picked your favorite car, you said, this is the one for me. I love this car. I love everything about it. The color, the upholstery, the mileage. Oh, this is mine. I want it. And you buy that car. When you sit in that driver's seat, you got to adjust the seat. You got to adjust the mirrors. You got to adjust everything in there. You change the radio station to your channel and the genre of music that you like before you drive off the lot. So just because you picked something and you had a certain expectation doesn't mean you don't need to tweak or fix something before you can drive full speed ahead to your destination. That's my thought of the day. So, hey, we are
I love
on
it.
track. Thank
That was
you.
good.
And we are now going to go to commercial, and we'll be back with you in a minute.
Listen, you're not wrong if you think having an online TV show will help you increase your company's influence and income online for business. But having an online TV show or starting an online TV show can be a lot of work if you don't understand the technology behind how to produce something that looks professional and visually compelling, and may take time you don't have as a busy business professional. We understand this, and this is why Remote Producer Live will now produce your online TV show for you remotely and from anywhere. What does this mean? It means that you now have the power of live video backgrounds, graphics, lower thirds, transitions, even commercials to help enhance the quality of your online TV show. Your whole job is to get in front of the camera and be an amazing host while you partner with your remote producer to produce high quality, visually compelling content that attracts more of the kind of people you want to serve with your business and help turn them from video viewers into paying customers. I can't wait for you to get started with this process. It's one of the most exciting resources for business owners everywhere is Remote Producer Live. In the link in the description, there's a link. Make sure that you hit that link to learn more about how you can get started with Remote Producer Live. I'll see you on the other side. Bye.
All right. Well, we're back live and we're here. And it's that time that we warned you about, told you about, and prefaced that you were going to get. So we are about to bring on an expert. I told you to get your paper and pencil in advance, and I hope you did it because you're definitely going to need it. You know, Taria Hodge takes copious notes, and I know she's ready. So we're going to introduce our guest speaker today. And I'm honored because she is an expert in areas that all of us need some help with. And she is an expert, and she works with women to teach them how to win in business and life. So we are looking forward to having her come here and talk to y'all because we started the segment talking about something similar, but just a little bit. Now we're going to expand on 5 principles how to win in business and in life. And we are bringing on Treal Ravenal, who's our guest speaker today. We're excited to have her, and you're going to get everything that you ever imagined. Treal, mic check, mic check. Are you there?
I am here. Hello, hello, Milton. Hello, Black CEO Morning Show.
All right. Yes, yes. Well, we're glad to have you, Treal, and we want to make sure that we give you the opportunity to give our audience that powerful message that you delivered. So I'm going to mute my mic. I'm going to grab my paper and pencil and give you the turn over the mic to you. So go for it. We got you.
Absolutely. Hey, 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 everyone in Black CEO World. I'm super duper excited to be here. Thank you all, Candace, Taria, Milton, and everyone that had anything to do with this on this morning. I really appreciate it. I'm Treal Ravenal. I am your life and marriage disruptor. Yes, I am. I help women and wives to thrive in their marriage and life simultaneously, helping them to break away from the norms of how women are depicted in the bedroom and the boardroom. Because you all know that for a long time, and even today, we are still trying to break through what they say is the glass ceiling. And sometimes that's also in relationships. So I speak to the 21st century wives and teaching them how to uphold their dignity, respect, and their truth without trying to make their husbands feel insignificant or invaluable, because we're not about that life. So what I want to share with you all on today are 5 principles. And if you don't, go ahead and get your notepad ready, get your pen ready, get your tea, your coffee, your water, whatever it is that you need to do to get relaxed and to take notes on today. Because what I do know that is knowledge is only powerful once it is applied. I'm going to say that again. Knowledge is only powerful when it is applied. Many of us have knowledge beyond our understanding and beyond our obedience, but only when it's applied does it become powerful. So, what I want to talk to you about today is number one. We're talking about 5 ways on how to elevate your life and business, how to take it to another level, how to go to the place of abundance. Because I know that every Black CEO, every entrepreneur wants to experience abundance. And many times we feel like we don't have the time, the energy, or the resources to do life and business. And we find ourselves having to choose. How many out there can relate to that, right? You're trying to choose. You're trying to choose. You know, if you can relate to that, go ahead and place that in the comment section, and we'll love to address that. Just say, "Hey, that's me, girl. You're on it. You're talking directly to me." So listen, we live in the season where you don't have to choose. You can have both. You can have a successful life and you can have a successful business. When I talk about life, that's your marriage, that's your relationships, that's your family, whatever that may look like for you. So, number one, what I want to share with you is pray. Yeah, simple, right? Pray for direction and wisdom. You know, all of us are creators, right? If you're a creator, say, I am. Put that in the comments for me. I am a creator. We are creators. And sometimes what creators do, we have a tendency to just go off on a limb, very spontaneous, willy-nilly do things, and not really look for the direction or ask for wisdom and direction in doing that thing. We allow our emotions to drive us, our mood to drive us, or even we're excited about what other people are doing and we're motivated by that, and that's how we get off, right? So what I'm going to say to you today is pray for wisdom and understanding. Pray for wisdom and instruction. Not sure if you know my boy named Solomon, but I know a guy named Solomon, right? And one thing that he had asked for, he could have asked for anything in the world, but one thing he asked for was wisdom, because he understand that if he had wisdom, he would be able to do anything that his hands he had put his hands to. So pray, pray, pray. Number two, plan for success. Somebody put number two in the comments. Number two, plan for success. Write the vision and make it crystal clear. Write the vision and make it crystal clear. And here's what I know. Many people aren't successful because they don't desire or not willing to do the work. We hear that often. Oh, they don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work. I have a different mindset when it comes to that. It's not that they don't want to do the work, it's that many people just don't have clarity. And when someone does not have clarity, it makes it harder for them to, number one, do the work. And then number two, how to do the work. And many people are missing the how. So that's you on today. And you're like, you know what, Treal, you are right. It's not that I don't want to do the work. It's not that I don't know what to do. Is I don't know the how. I don't know the process. I am not clear. I want you to go ahead and comment put that in the comments for me, because we want to help you get clear on today. We want to help you get clear on your vision, clear on your purpose, clear on your strategy. Because I understand you're out there, you're grinding, you're working sun up to sundown, you're doing everything that you think you know how to do, but there's a lack of clarity, which causes ambiguity on your end and not allowing you to get done what you need to get done. You know, we think that hiring a coach is the ultimate answer. And I'm going to be the first to say I have several coaches, so I'm not saying you don't hire a coach. However, you need a coach that's going to be able to give you the direction and clarity that you need. And you need a coach that can coach you where you are. A lot of times we make that mistake because we want to be the 6-figure, 7-figure business owners, entrepreneurs, right? We try to hire the coach and thinking that we can get to that level overnight. But what I'm here to tell you is make sure you have clarity in the coach that you are also hiring. Because if I don't know the how, then it's useless, right? How many have been there? If you don't know the how, then it's useless. And many of us need someone that will be able to do it for us, not necessarily show us the way. So just make sure you have clarity on that. So number three, somebody put number three in the comments. Number three, number three, number three. Number three is prepare for the unexpected. I I know we have our vision boards. We're coming up to the new year, and many will be doing their New Year's resolution and all that great stuff. And all of that is wonderful. But what I do know is that many times we do not prepare for the unexpected. Well, Treal, how do you prepare for the unexpected? Because everything that I'm writing down, everything I'm making plain, every vision that I have, everything on my vision board, I am expecting for it to come to pass without any type of fluke, without any type of roadblock, without any type of stumbling block. I'm here to let you know, girlfriend, boyfriend, that that probably will not happen. You will run into hitches on along your journey, and you have to prepare for that. So how do you prepare for that? Well, first things first is you can start by making a list of everything that can go wrong. Somebody put that in the comments for me. Make a list of everything that can go wrong. Then, once you make that list, create a workaround or a backup solution as to how you will get over that hurdle, that hump, that stumbling block, or whatever it is that may slow you down or delay in the process. And you can start doing this by just looking at what you've done in the past. Look at the things you've done in the past and where you were where hiccups came, and you had to create a workaround. You had to create a different solution. You can start there. So even if you're saying, well, Treal, I'm writing this book, but I'm not sure what can go wrong. Well, one thing can go wrong is that your editor may take longer than you had intended for them to take. You may take longer to read the book, hence you don't meet the deadline that the publishers gave you. You may publish the book and then find out later on that there were edits that were never done or completed in the book. So there's so many things that can go wrong, and what you want to do is just build in that time and also that energy and that mind space to be able to say, okay, if it does go wrong, then this is what I'm going to do. I think about even a GPS system. Sometimes the GPS has to reroute us. I know that happens to me a lot, especially driving in the DC area. I'm going in one direction and then I miss a turn, or I don't get off on the exit, or I'm too busy distracted doing something else, and the GPS is like rerouting, take the next left, take the next right. That's the same thing with your business, and that's the same thing with life. Sometimes we just get off kilter, get off focus, and you have to make the next left or make the next right. Okay? So number four, somebody put number 4 in the comments. Prioritize priorities. Oh my goodness. This is a big one, because sometimes we think that everything is a priority. And I'm here to let you know, even in life, even with your marriage, even with your business, everything is not a priority. We must decide, what do we need to do now? What do we need to do later? And what it is that we need to get rid of all together. We have different areas of our life that we want to show up in, right? We want to show up as a great wife, a great husband, a great mother, a great father, a great business owner, a great leader, and all of that. And that's wonderful. However, we must know what capacity we have, what energy we have, and most important, what is priority? What is adding value to my life, my marriage, my business, my family? And as a matter of fact, I want you to answer that question. What is adding value to your life, your marriage, or relationships, your family, or business? And for the business side of it, what is helping me to generate revenue? What revenue generating activity am I doing that is a priority? Because all revenue generating activity isn't priority. You'll have some people that would disagree with that, but you have to decide if I should be doing this now, or is this something that I need to be doing in 2020 or 2021 or in the third quarter or in the fourth quarter. Prioritizing your goals will help you to figure out what you need to do first and what you need to spend the most time on. Okay? What you need to do first and what you need to spend the most time on, because as a wise scholar once told me, is that time is the greatest commodity. You will never, ever be able to get it back. And if you waste your time doing something that is not adding value to your life, your marriage, your family, your relationships, or your business, you will never get that back. Okay? And number 5, somebody say number 5, number 5, pursue purposefully. Pursue purposefully. I know a lot of times we're pursuing, but are we pursuing purposely? Or are we just doing things because that's what we want to do? That's what somebody else told us that we should be doing. And in order to pursue purposely, we have to have systems in place. We need automation for your business life and for your life in general. And you need a team. You need a team of people, whether that's your mom and dad, whether that's your support system with those in your community, for those that have children. You need a team in place. And when I talk about systems, I like to talk about the life for a minute. When I talk about systems meaning grocery shopping once a week. System meaning, preparing your meals on a Friday or Saturday for your week, planning out your day, planning out your week. And again, not just going through life just willy-nilly, as I like to say. That's a southern term if you're not used to that term. Are not planning, because you have to plan. And we've heard all before, if you don't plan to fail, you fail to plan, right? So we want to make sure that we're pursuing purposely. Knowledge plus action equals success. Somebody write that in the comments for me. Knowledge plus action equals success. You want to do repeated behavior, yes, but you want to make sure that the repeated behavior that you're doing is yielding the results that you so desire. Because anything that you repeat becomes a habit. And a lot of times we can repeat stuff and they're not good. They turn into habits and their habits are not good. So we want to make sure that what we're repeating will turn into great habits and will continue to create momentum for our lives, for our businesses, for our marriages and our relationships. So if you haven't gotten anything else out of this conversation on today, when you're creating systems for your life, you're forming good habits. And if you are designed to elevate in your life and elevate in your business, you're going to need these 5 things. I'm just going to recap real quick. So the first one is pray. Pray for direction and wisdom. Number 2, plan for success. Number 3, you're going to prepare for the unexpected. Number 4, you're going to prioritize priorities. And then number 5, you're going to pursue purposely. Pursue purposely.
Woo! I told y'all it was going to be powerful. It was going to be driving, and you were going to get a lot of information. My hand hurts. Treal, my hand hurts from taking notes because that was great. That was incredible. And we're going to go to our host to talk to you a little bit about some of the tips and some of the points that you made, and so that they can ask you their questions and we can involve the audience. We'll start with the infamous worldly travel, Taria House.
Wow, 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 Treal. I just love what you shared. And my favorite point of what you shared is preparing for the unexpected. And I love that you talk about making a backup plan, because one of the things that this allows us to do is to take a look at all of the holes that we have in our plan, right? And it ties back into what you said earlier. Knowing what the unexpected is or what you have to plan for also allows us, to manage our energy and our emotions. So that was my biggest takeaway. So now I'm going to ask you a question. You talked about systems, right? And I'm just going to say this. In this space, we know about systems for business, right? So, you should have a lead generation system. You need to have systems that you could follow up, a sales system, all of that stuff. But I heard you mention briefly, you need to have a system for your life. And I am definitely one for preparing meals. So tell me, what other systems, that should we as entrepreneurs and the business leaders look at implementing to help our lives and our relationships go a whole lot deeper?
Absolutely. Great question, Taria. So the systems look like, one of the systems is preparing meals. I work with a lot of clients that want to lose weight. They want to, exercise and be fit. And one of the things that I often ask them is, how many times do you eat out? How many times do you cook? And things of that nature. So I get the response of, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. So one of the systems is building in that time to, number one, work out, building in that time to go to the grocery store once a week, right? Building in that time where you're going to just spend a few hours just cooking and prepping the meals. So you're going to the grocery store, you're coming back home, you're cooking, and you're prepping the meals the same day. The system would be every Saturday. That's what my Saturday looks like, or my Friday, whatever that day may look like for you. So you have to build in that time and making sure that, okay, this between 9 and 12, this is what I'm doing. It's on my calendar, because I believe I heard earlier someone said, if it's not on my calendar, then I'm not getting it done. So that's something that's on my calendar. The same thing with the children. You're building in the system. So if the children want to go to, Chuck E. Cheese or whatever, okay, this is the day that we spend family time. We don't go outside of that time. We understand that things may happen, and that day may not be available, or an emergency may pop up. And again, that's where your backup plan comes in at. If mommy and daddy can't take you out on Tuesday, then we know that Saturday is that default day. So building in that system and putting that on your calendar when family time occurs. Also, friendships. One system that I like to use as well is making sure that I am intentional about my friendships, right? So making sure that I'm contacting my friends. So one thing that I do, Tyria, is on my calendar every Wednesday, I have a certain group of people that I text, that I reach out to. Why is that? Because I want to continue to build those relationships and those partnerships. And I understand that those people, in doing that, that's a very important part, not only of my life and also my business. So those are just some of the systems that I've created that I use religiously in my life, just to make sure that I'm staying on track and that I'm being intentional of how I'm showing up in my life and my business.
That's good. That's really good, Treal. Everything you've
Wow,
said
I
today
love
has
it.
been super, super amazing. I think my question, I actually have a couple of questions for you, but I'll keep it brief. So, as it relates to, let's say, getting our life in order, it sounds like that sounds like what you're saying. What does a person look like? Because sometimes we can get so caught up into our own mess that we don't know that we're in mess. You know what they say, it's hard to see the picture if you're in the frame, right? So help us, Trill. What does it look like for us to realize that we need to take these steps? What does life look like? Are we chaotic? Like, what could that look like for a person who's having trouble in this arena? And then that's the first question. And the second question for you, because you probably can answer them twofold, is what made you get into this space? Like, what made you know that this was your purpose and where you wanted to really get into help people with this whole process?
Absolutely. Thank you for that question, Candace. So
Mhm.
what that person would look like is frazzled, overwhelmed, right? Frustrated, moody, easily bothered by little things that's happening. Because what happens with that as well is that when your life is in a disarray or disorder, in disorder, a certain amount of fear comes with that, and fear is associated to worry, because I'm fearing that, number one, I won't meet the deadline. I'm fearing that I won't show up on time. I'm fearing that I won't be prepared. I won't be ready. I'm fearing that I won't be successful. I'm
Mhm.
fearing that I won't be able to compete with the big dogs, right? So
Mhm.
fear comes
Mhm.
with that. So you have a lot of fear, you have a lot of worry, and then you have anxiety, right? So you're anxious all the time. You're anxious, and you're finding yourself trying to do things just to be relevant.
Right.
Right? Trying to do things just to be relevant, but you know that things are falling apart. The kids are not eating because you're not cooking, because you don't have time to cook. So they're eating hot dogs and popcorn, and the husband's frustrated, or the boyfriend or the girlfriend is frustrated, and you don't have time to do the things that you desire to do, and you find yourself always overwhelmed and telling people, oh, I can't make it because I'm busy. I can't make it because I have another obligation. Your schedule is always full, and your cup is empty. Your
That's
cup is
good.
Mm,
That's
empty.
good.
mm.
You're running off of
Love it.
fumes. And I don't know about you all, but I've ran out of gas before in my car. And when you run out of gas, that thing starts chucking, chuck, 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 right? Chugging along.
Mm.
And then eventually what happens? It shuts off. So that
That's
eventually
right.
what happens to us. We shut off. We shut down. So before you get to that place, you want to make sure that you are taking care of you. And a
Mm-hmm.
part of that is self-care, right? We talk about self-care as, oh, get your nails done, get your hair done. No, no, no. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about self-care as it relates to your mind, making sure
That's
that
good.
you're mentally healthy, right? So making sure you're meditating, making sure that you're doing mindfulness meditation, and that's just simply intentional meditation, making sure you're taking care of this body, your temple, making sure that you eat. Because a lot of times, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as movers and shakers and bosses, right? We're so busy, trying to take care of everybody else and save the world. We're not making sure we eat, and we're not making sure that we're eating healthy. And we're not making sure that we're drinking water.
That's
Getting
good.
plenty of water. We heard growing up 8 glasses a day, that's so true. Making sure that we're replenishing and we're getting refilled and we're getting refueled, because this is the thing. If we're not in that space where we're refilled and refueled, we're no good to our significant others. We're not no good to our children, and we're no good to our clients,
That's
right?
right.
And
You
then
better
and the
speak,
second
girl.
question to answer, I can go on because I love that space, right? What made me get into that is for that very reason. I wanted to help women in particular show up and show them how to be successful and not having to be frazzled or frustrated or overwhelmed with life or marriage or ministry or business or whatever other areas, important areas that were in their life. I wanted to show them that there is a process and there's a system that you can put in place and you can be successful in life and relationships, in life and business, in life and as a single mom, if that was the space
That's
that they were in.
good.
Mm.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Awesome. 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 Well, Trill, I have two questions, so I hope you'll work with me a little bit here. Number one is I'm hearing about the structure and I'm hearing about everything that has to be done. Number one, how do you ensure that you're keeping a balance? Because there are so many things to do and so many things you're trying to accomplish. Sometimes we get overwhelmed on one side and we lose our balance on the other side. So how do we maintain that balance?
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked that question, Milton. And some people look at me and they're like, well, how do you do all of that? Well, here's the thing. Not only do I give myself time to rest and rejuvenate, I definitely take that time out and build that in my calendar. But there are four things that I've learned. Four things that I've learned. Number one, some things I have to do. It's non-negotiable. It's a number one priority, and I have to get it done, right? So I automatically say, okay, this is what I have to do. Number two, delegate. Delegate. That's something that we have not learned to do successfully. Why? Because we are a people that want to be in control, and we feel like if we do it, it's going to get done right. Right? Wrong. Wrong. All that does is put us in a place again where we're overwhelmed, we're frustrated, we're frazzled, we're filled with anxiety and fear because we can't get things done. So some things I do, some things I delegate, and then number three, some things I have to schedule. So I have a planner, Milton, that I use every single day. One of the planners that we created is a 90-day goal achiever planner. And within that planner, it allows me to write out my tasks every single day of what I am going to get done. So I schedule time to go to the gym. I schedule time to meditate. I schedule time to read. I schedule time to learn. I schedule time to work on my business. So there are different things that I just schedule out. And here's the thing. Sometimes they don't all get done. So with that, I give myself grace. I forgrace myself. Forgrace. I forgive myself for not getting it done. And then I extend myself grace for not getting it done. And then the number four thing that I realize I have to do at times, Milton, is just eliminate it altogether. Yep, just take it off my calendar. Case in point, for instance, I was supposed to have a call with someone on last evening. A young lady wants to show me something about her business and see if I want to be a part of it. Well, I totally forgot about it, number one, because she did not email me as I suggested so I could put it on my calendar a week ago. So it was off my radar. Again, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't get done. So here she, an hour before, she's emailing me. She emailed me, she texted me, and she sent me a message via Facebook. And I was resting on yesterday. So I wasn't doing anything out of the norm. I was resting. And guess what? I built in that time to rest. So when she messaged me and said, oh, I'm going to be ready in an hour. Here's the link. I said, oh, you know what? I have to reschedule. Yep, I sure did. So some things you have to just eliminate and be okay with it.
That's good.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Awesome. Okay, I have a second question. Ladies, you guys have another question?
No, go for
Because
it,
let
Belton.
all right. Here's my question, and because I have a daughter, a young lady who's a business professional. Now I'm gonna put up some of my brothers on Front Street here. What do you say to the female executive who is very successful in dealing with us brothers that may be somewhat intimidated by the way she's walking or the money she makes?
Here's what I would say about that. So any guy that may be intimidated by those areas is someone that does not have a high level of confidence or self-esteem. So that's number one. Number two, although she's walking in that space, continue to walk in that space and continue to show up. She should not have to, dumb herself down as some would say, to make herself relevant or to be seen. She may just be in the wrong company with the wrong men, with the wrong people, right? Because anytime you're showing up and you're showing up in greatness, those people will recognize that, and those people, be it male or female, will not be intimidated by that. So that's what I would say to that person. If she feels like she's successful, and every person that she's meeting may be intimidated by her success or by her lifestyle, then she needs to get in a different company or a different circle of people, because those guys and those gals are out there. And I would just say she needs to shift how she's showing up. Well, she needs to shift the room and the environments that she's showing up in, not how she's showing up, but shift the room and environments as to where she's showing up in.
Awesome. Great. Great. Okay. Fantastic. Candace, you have another question,
Awesome.
I understand. Or
Awesome. I
Talia?
do. I do. So as it relates to being in business as and it's funny whenever Belton says, the dealing with the different, basically the confidence, the people lacking confidence. And it sometimes can make us as women feel as if we're the issue or we're the problem whenever people have an issue with us in that regard. I just wanted to side note that, but we're not the challenge, of course, and we're not perfect people, but in that space, we're not actually that. But anyway, so how do you control, or what do you think is the balance in the integrity of your relationships and your business? How do you balance the integrity with both of those? Because sometimes as entrepreneurs, we can begin to get overwhelmed. I'll put it that way. So I wouldn't say balance, but I would say, how do I guess you could say balance. How do you balance the two as it relates to your time?
Absolutely. All those things are very important to me. I'm married and I have a business, and I also have an investor. So I have a few things that I balance, per se. That's what it's called, but not really balance. I get what you're saying with that. And the way that I do that again is schedule. I schedule time. I schedule time to spend with my friends. I schedule time to spend with my husband. I schedule time to work on my business. And of course, I have a set hours for my investor. And I make sure I'm committed to those areas, right? So I make sure I'm intentional. And when I do have time with my husband, I make sure that that time is spent quality wise, right? It may not always be quantity, but it's quality. So with that being said, whatever I'm doing, I'm showing up with quality, not necessary quantity. And some areas, Candace, may get more than the others depending on the season that you're in. I look, for instance, we have an annual event, right? So around that time, my husband knows that our time, me and him, right, will be limited. He knows that there are certain times that I'm just off the radar, and I may can't give to the household. I may can't cook, every day or a few times a week that I cook. I may can't show up in this area, and he has given me grace in order to do that. So what I would say with that as well is that having those people in your community, your business world, your life, in what other areas, having them to understand that, hey, there are certain areas where I may can't show up the way that you need me or want me to, but when I am there, I am making sure that I'm giving all that I have. So for me, that's how I balance it all, per se. Whenever I'm showing up, I give it all that I have without the expectation that I always have to show up. That's a difference, right?
That's good. That's good.
Wow, Trail, this has been so amazing. And I just want to encourage our viewing audience, if you have any questions for Trail, please post your questions or your comments into the comment section below the video. And then definitely you will be able to hear back from Trail. So Trail, I just have to ask you, like I said, this has just been amazing. So we started out our conversation here this morning talking about what are some of the things that we do for rest, and then after we rest, how do we get refocused? So I'm just going to ask you to just share with us what are some of the fun things that you do for rest in your life, and how do you regain your focus when you feel yourself getting off track?
Absolutely, Taria. So one of the ways I rest, I've heard somebody else say that they go to the movies. I thought that was so funny because that is so me. And I can feel myself. Here's the thing, like your body is meant to tell you when something is wrong. And I'm going to say this as well. Your mind is an organ. And I think that sometimes we forget that our mind is a part of our entire body. And just like any area of our life or any other member of our body, we can take our kidneys, our spleen, our heart, and all of that stuff, our mind can as well. So when pain is evident, we know that something is wrong. And when something is off, we know that something is wrong. And for me, I know when something is wrong. I know when I'm getting to ahead of myself, when I'm DTMing, that means doing the most. And one thing I do is I go to the movies, you all. I order me a popcorn, a bag of popcorn. I put my feet up and I sit in the middle of the theater, and preferably I'm by myself and not, maybe a few people are there because it's normally in the middle of the day. I'll just go and I just relax and I find myself, as Candace had said earlier, I put myself in other people's worlds, their issues and their problems, and I just kind of soak it all in. And that, believe it or not, gives me rest. Another thing that I do is I simply rest. I shut down. I don't know about you all, but I have several social media platforms. I have several groups, and all these places expect for me to show up all the time. People don't give you grace. They want you to show up and teach, 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 teach. Give, right? So sometimes I just take a break. I'll post on my social media like, hey, I'm taking a break. I'm going to be off the scene. And I have a backup plan, right? Because I have some ambassadors and some people that are able to post and things on my behalf. And I'm like, look, I'm going to be out of pocket. I need you to show up. And I just remove myself from the scene. Another thing that I do is I go to acupuncture. Yep. I go to acupuncture, and that in itself allows my body to rest and relax. And then the fourth thing, I'll just share one other thing that I do. I do a lot of mindful meditation, right? And you can use an app to do this. You can do it on your own. There's several things that you can do. And I just allow myself to be aligned at that moment.
Fantastic.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for that, Trail.
You're
Amazing.
Ooh-wee. That is incredible stuff, I'll tell you. So, Trail, if people want to further this conversation with you, they want to get more in depth in uncovering the solutions to these issues or problems, how do they get in touch with you?
Absolutely, Milton. So they can follow me on Facebook at Treal Ravenal. That's Treal Ravenel, Ravenel. Also Instagram, Treal Ravenel, Treal Ravenel. And they can also email me at info@wiveswhowin.com, info@wiveswhowin.com. And my website is also wiveswhowin.com.
Fantastic. Very good. Well, awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you for being with us today and relaying such powerful information to our audience. I hope our audience has taken copious notes. And if you have or haven't, I hope you'll connect with her to further this conversation because it's extremely important to the success of you and the people around you. But that's all the time that we have today, folks. So we're going to leave just like we always do on the Black CEO Morning Show. I'm going to count it down. I want you to tell us your first name and your last name, and we're going to say Black CEO out. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, one. Velton Shaw, broadcasting from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Black CEO out.
Candace Woodruff out of Arkansas, Black CEO out. I did.
I don't know.
Sharia didn't say it.
Cat got it tongue.
Can she hear her? I don't think she can hear her. Yeah.
She couldn't hear us. Okay.
Are we done?
Yeah.
No, I lost. I lost sound. I lost sound. No, I
Yeah,
saw
I
the
wasn't sure
countdown and I
all
wasn't
together
sure.
or not. I was
I
like,
saw his mouth. I saw his mouth moving, but I lost sound, so I couldn't hear him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why we're doing this.
It's hard to understand what you're saying when everybody else is talking to Kim. So sometimes you may have to wait until a pause because then it's like your words and their words are blended and we can't understand anything you're saying.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't think and hear you and talk.
Yes, yeah. This was